Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CRoMCon. CRoMCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 7th and 8th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline Comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
On your Twitch, your YouTube, and your Facebook. There you go. Silverline is here. CRoMCon 32.
What's up, CRoMCon 32?
It's magic. It's magic.
It is magic.
Actually, it's madness.
It's madness. It's Magnus. Madness. Whatever. I can't move those. Combine those two words. Magic. Magnus. Magnus. Whatever. What's up? How's it going, Pops?
Dude, it's been an eventful weekend. You know, we do the thing. We have fun. Do you have any special guests coming out tonight, or is it just Silverline and CRoMCon?
Just in fact, we're down a couple of our regulars. I put the call out to some of the team.
Yeah, trying to gather some folks up. Yeah, and I'll give them the right link. Who knows if they may go to the other one?
Did I send you the wrong link?
Right link?
I sent you this link.
If you sent the link to your show, they got the
No, I didn't, because I didn't send out a link until after the conversation that you and I had. So
there you go. You are now streaming on your stuff.
Woot,
what is up, Vic? There's one of your guys.
Vic, there's that. What's up, Vic?
Howdy do.
You know what? We need to. BJ and I were talking this week. Rumble needs to be able to add us to this. To stream to Rumble, we'd like to add that. You know,
I
know that's a StreamYard thing, but
I tried to add my own Rumble, to it, and then I couldn't log into my Rumble, and it's like, man, for me, it's been one mess with every platform after another, right? Yeah,
we're thinking about trying out. What's it called? Where you give the one link, and then that link will spread it out. I forget what it's called. I got it on here somewhere. I can figure it out. But the problem with that is you don't get to see the chats within StreamYard, and so you miss some of those. And I like those. So what's up, Don? Hello. And so we haven't gone much further with that because I would have to keep a separate chat window open. And I like the one of the things I like about StreamYard. I like the ability to, like you just did, pull the chats up in the window. Right. So, the folks leaving messages, even if we don't always read them out, or respond directly to them so that they can actually see that, hey, we know you're there. We hear you.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
That's been one of my things since the beginning. It's always been about fan interaction.
Yeah.
I'm out here talking about comic books to the fans, to my friends, to people that like comic books. Of course, I want to know what they're saying in return, right?
Right.
Yeah. Bring them all out on the show. So by all means, you'll see me post the little thing on the bottom, hail the chat. Feel free to comment, drop links, do all that stuff, because this is a fan interaction type of a network.
Absolutely. Yeah. So hopefully some of our team will, Rob is often, if he's not busy traveling, he'll probably drop in once he sees the message. What was the topic, you guys? Was it trying to come? Don't worry about that, Vic. We'll talk about that next week.
You got 90 minutes. I hope you got a topic.
Pop, have you not seen Tommy and I before?
Yes.
Tommy and I, we can fill 90 minutes. We just talk about Jeff says, "What up, guys? What's up, Jeff?" So Jeff, we're Tommy and I are kind of looking for stuff to talk about. Our regular crew is we're down a little bit, and so and we've invited some of the other Silverline crew out to join us, and we're expecting some of them to pop up. But what do you want to talk about? What do you want to hear me and Tommy talk about? I can start making fun of Tommy if you want me to.
I'll be honest. Of all of the titles that you do, the one that intrigued me the most was Friar Rush.
Oh yeah, cool.
Because I'm a Rush fan, and I'm like, okay, they used the word Rush in the title. It must be good. Okay.
So
what's it about?
Funny thing. So funny thing about, before I answer that question. So funny thing about the word Rush. Do you were you collecting comics back in the 90s when Malibu was around? What's that?
What'd you say?
Were you collecting comics in the 90s when Malibu was around?
Oh yeah.
So we had actually a character in the. I was the editor of Mantra, right? And we had a character in Mantra called Rush.
Yes.
Who was a speedster,
yes.
like like the Flash or whatever. But he was just called Rush, and he appeared in the Mantra comic. Nothing to do with the band, even though I'm a fan of the band as well. Friar Rush has nothing. Our comic has nothing to do with the band Rush. Okay, Friar Rush is written by Sid Williams, and it's the story of basically an ancient demon gets a hold of his Friar Rush. Right, his goal is to convert or to entrap men of the cloth. Right, so he goes not just after your not specific everyday people, but specifically men of the cloth. And this is the story of Friar Rush going after this particular guy in this story. He puts him up on stage, lets him be a rock star. So we got music. There's music involved, but it is not Rush. But yeah, so it's a pretty interesting concept, interesting story that it deals with faith elements, set in New Orleans, where a lot of Silverline comics are set. And we are about to kickstart. I think where's my calendar? I think it's next week.
I did not know you were stationed in New Orleans.
Not next week, but the week after next.
A lot of the stories take place.
I did not know that was like your kind of universe home base. Like,
yep. Cat and mouse.
So I'll get to see some above ground cemeteries and stuff like that when I'm paging through your books.
Yep. That started way back in, and Tommy remembers this. It started way back in the days of Cat and Mouse. That started back in the late 80s.
Yeah, when we all started, we were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is like an hour and a half from New Orleans. So, I actually grew up in New Orleans. So it was not that was the reason why they said it in New Orleans. It's a whole lot funner to set it in a place. You didn't want to set it in little Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Right.
New Orleans.
Gotta have a city.
Big history of craziness going on. So that's a great place.
There's no world domination in Mayberry, yo.
That's right.
There's no world domination in Mayberry. You got to go somewhere real. The reason I brought up Rush, the Friar Rush, the first comic I ever picked up was Defenders 10. Okay.
Okay, good one. Yeah.
Hulk and Thor duking it out for the last battle over the Evil Eye, right? Everybody knows that. That's the one that got me. 35 issues later, I'm looking at a Defenders book, and there's Doctor Strange using Rush lyrics in a spell from the song Twilight Zone. And I was like, how does this happen that the first comic series that I ever got involved in that I liked happens to also be fans of my favorite band?
Was that
okay? Because the writer obviously was a fan of Rush because he used Neil Peart's lyrics in the book, right?
Do you remember who the writer was? I know Steve Gerber wrote later issues.
I don't remember exactly. It was number 45 though. It was before the Defender started to fall.
Okay.
Before the fall off with the demon and all the the Hollywood stuff and
I think some of that might have been. I'd have to look it up. I think some of that might have been Gerber. I'm trying to look some of this stuff here. Here's some nice New Orleans architecture for you, right? Yep. And hold on, this is Lee Circle. If anybody knows New Orleans, Lee Circle.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. We've got a shot of one of the mausoleums. I can't remember which issue it's in.
Vic, it wasn't so much that they got away with it. I mean, they credited them.
Here we go.
These are Rush lyrics. You remember the little marble boxes down in the corner? The spell was Neil Peart's lyrics. They credited Rush for that and gave a little shout out to Getty, Alex, and Neil, right?
Yeah.
So it's not so much getting away with it. If you do something like that, you just give people credit.
Yeah, you can actually I forget exactly. I have to look it up. You can actually quote without attribution a certain number of words without attribution, and it's totally legal. So
this was like a full 2 or 3 lines out of the song that he used this.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But they loved him, so what can you say?
So as long as you, like you said, as long as you kind of give attribution, you're generally okay. But you can quote. In fact, my character usually quotes the demon when he shows up. He's often quoting song lyrics. He didn't in this issue, but a lot of times when he shows
my co-hosts. All they do is sing. They drive me crazy. Doc, where you at?
Yeah. So, but he'll often show up singing song lyrics. And one of the fun things, Tommy probably remembers this. One of the fun things that we had going back in the original Cat and Mouse was that he would have song lyrics, but I also used song titles as my story titles. Yeah. So not every issue was that way, but if you can look at the run of Cat and Mouse, all 18 issues, and a good many of those are song titles of bands that I was listening to at the time. And it's funny because we back then those were the days of fan letters, and we used to get letters. I had one or two fans, not many, but because I had a Dawkins song for 2 issues in a row, titles, right? And one fan wrote, "Been listening to a lot of Dawkins lately, huh?" And I'm like, "You got it. You're the one who caught it, right?" So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And believe it or not, I actually still use song titles as my story titles. I don't know. You recognize that one there?
Oh, little Aerosmith, right?
Aerosmith. I'm a big Aerosmith fan, right?
That was actually a title to an album, though. Did they have a song called Draw the Line? I don't think they had a song called Draw the Line. No.
They did have a song called Draw the Line. It was not an album title. Nope.
What? Am I like?
Go look.
Oh, it's back. Oh, I got it backwards. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is I won't tell people, but this is the song title, right? So I use a lot of song titles in my. I've already gone away. I use a lot of song titles. What is it? I've been planning on doing something like that, calling an issue, whistling past the graveyard, because for some reason I've been listening to Screaming Jay Hawkins. Yes, Dokken, absolutely. Dokken, I listened to a lot of Dokken, probably around. What issues were those that I listened to, or that had the song titles? I had to pull up. Dadgummit, y'all are making me dig into my old comics down here.
That's part of what we do here. If we go back in time and look at the good stuff.
I keep a. So for those who don't know, I keep a box of the stuff that I do. Literally, it's a comic box, right? I keep a box of the stuff that I do under my desk. It fits right in between my feet. And part of the reason I do that is as I write, I like to, people like to think, oh, writers remember everything they do. That's not so, right? I'll start writing and I'm like, what? I know something happened here, right? But I don't remember. And, or I'll like, I think this character did this, but when was that? And what exactly happened? So I got to dig out the old issues and look to see them. Let's see. I think I used Breaking the Chains for one of them. Give me a second, Don. I will find it. All these are song titles. Anybody know this one? Here's one. If you know the music I listen to, sometimes they're easy.
I can't read that. What's it say?
Fight from the Inside.
Fight from the Inside. Okay.
Anybody know that one?
Yeah.
Anybody? Here's another one. Anybody know this one?
What is and what should never be some Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. Yes, it is. Let's see here. Those were okay. So this is actually lyrics pulled from a song. Let's see. There's the first part of it, and I've slightly rearranged them. Okay. So this says working 11 to 7 really makes life a drag. Okay. Yeah. So anybody know that one? Doc, you know that one?
Dolly Parton song?
Working. What a way to make a living?
Working 9 to
He says the lyrics actually say working 7 to 11 and not 11 to 7. But I used to work the graveyard shift 11 to 7. And so I got creative with this one.
What does that one say? Some tails are going to roll.
Yeah, but it did say some heads are going to roll, right?
Yeah. Some heads are going to roll.
Yeah, that's right. Where's my Dokken sign? That's Aerosmith. I know I had Dokken in here. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is Queensryche.
Yep. Take hold of the flame. There you go. Yeah. I'm waiting for the Kiss one. Where's the Kiss one? Gene would have sued you. You can't do Kiss.
I don't think I have a Kiss one. Yeah. What I got? Here we go. Here's a Dokken song.
Bullets to Spare. Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. Here's the issue of Cat and Mouse that one's from. Right. It's probably 90. 91.
Let me see the back cover of that. Perfect. Dr. Gordon, I pop in excitement.
Yeah. I know I got another Dokken song. There's more than one. Because there was a couple of them and one of the readers picked up on it. That's Queen. That's not. Is that Dokken? No, I think that's Queensryche. That's REO Speedwagon. I can't find it right now. Anyway, yeah. So I try to do that for no other reason that it's fun for me. As a writer, I enjoy trying to find some kind of song title that, in my mind, kind of encapsulates the mood, the tone, kind of I want the comic to have a lot of times. So yeah, Dawn says that was awesome. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah. I still do it. Like I said, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I did it with Trumps because I had a hard time finding. No, that's not true. I did it with Trumps. Tommy doesn't even probably know this. Tommy didn't read the words. He just
look. I drew the thing. What did you
want? Let's see. I should have a contest sometime to see who can name all the most songs that I pulled from. Where are my Trumps? can't find my. Oh, here they are. I think I can't find my Trumps.
And when am I going to have time to read them? Because you got me working on the next book. I don't have time to read the previous.
Keep slapping that ink, Tommy.
Hold up.
That is correct.
While you're looking for the Trumps, I'm going to show everybody the Trumps, okay?
I can't find my Trumps issues.
I got you covered, brother. Check this out. Are you ready? Maybe I just like doing stuff like that.
Very cool. Yeah, and that's one that we just finished. So we're in the process of getting that one printed right now. So that's a song. That's a song, but it's the title of Trump's number 2, Tommy. And then this is a song title, and it's the
Kings and queens and guillotines. Yeah, we know that one. We know that.
And this is for Trump's number 1.
Yeah.
So I did not use one for Trump's number 3, and I can't remember what my title is for number 4 yet, because I had to go back and look. How long has Trump's Comics been a thing? Well, this is we just finished the Kickstarter for issue number 4. And number 4 is the conclusion of our miniseries. We kickstarted the first issue in 2020, I think.
All right, so I got one of these really in-depth, really deep journalistic questions.
Okay.
How many times have you been asked if Trump is in your book?
More times than we could count.
Yeah,
so here's a true story. Tommy can back me up on this. So Trump's as a concept, as a comic concept, existed before 2016. Okay, and so as a concept for a comic, it existed, right? When Trump was elected, the comic had kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit, but we pulled it back up, not because of that, but we pulled it back up for because we found an artist who wanted to do it, blah blah blah. But once we got into it, one of the first discussions we had was, okay, should we rename the comic? Right? It's it's the word Trump now, wrongly or rightly, has all kinds of associations with the former president. This comic has nothing to do with the former president, right? So that's a good question.
No, so much that when we go to shows, when somebody comes up and we can't tell, we go, "Did you like the former president?" And then they'll ask that question, and we kind of go, "Did they like?" And depending on what they say, is we'll go, which direction we talk about.
And for me, it's like it's basically obvious that you have the clubs, the hearts, the diamonds, the spades.
Right,
it's about card suits, guys.
Yeah. Well, and so we one of the things we did is we revised the logo. Okay, we had a different logo, but because of the connotations, we were like, okay, let's put cards under the logo so as to help make sure that no one can accidentally think, oh, that's what this is about, right? So so one of the things we ultimately decided was that, okay, and I like what Baldwin here says. Baldwin says, not trying to get political, but Trump now has some connotations. Yeah, and he's absolutely right. And this was part of our discussion. It's like, okay, so let's think about this. What our goal is, Oh, sweet, dude, nice.
Just keep talking. We can watch him art. We can talk at the same time.
So what our goal is, right, as creators, is you want to sell your comics. You want people to read your comics. And so ultimately we decided, okay, look, if people hate Trump, they might come up with an attitude, what is this about President Trump? And we could say, oh, it's not about President Trump at all. In fact, let me tell you what the story is, right?
Yes.
And hopefully they'll flip through the comic as I'm telling them the story, and they'll see, right, there's nothing President Trump in here at all. It's all about, kings and queens and fantasy kingdoms, and they're at war, and nothing about the American.
None of them have a president named Trump. Not one. Not one.
My political figures are the king of spades, the king of diamonds, the king of clubs, the king of who did I forget? King of hearts, and the and the queens and the jacks and the aces. Right? That's the political figures in. I forgot about the jokers too. Jokers are there. Those are the political figures in this story. And so we decided that, okay, well, the same way would be true is if they were for President Trump, they would come up and say, hey, is this about, President Trump? And we, as Tommy would say, we sometimes try to judge it. But, if they are fans of President Trump, then they'll come up and see the same thing and say, hey, look, this is not about President Trump, but this looks really good, and I like this. And as where did the comments go? Baldwin says, just from the flip through, looks like you have a good artist. Really do, right? So here's something else. Here's something else, right? So I'm going to try to flip through and show you this, right? So from, let's see if I can find a page that you can see. Tommy, I'm going to solo you.
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to keep drawing.
Yeah, keep drawing, because as soon as I do this, I'm gonna put you back. All right, so here's the first issue, right? And you can see there's this guy here, right? Fantastic art, just gorgeous art, right? Now our Kickstarter, we did 2 issues in one, but there are actually 2 issues. And then the second issue artist came along and did not break stride, right? I have to look over here so I can see. And it looks fantastic, right? So some gorgeous art. Now the third issue came along, and let's see if I can find some good powerful. It's printed a little bit dark, but look at this. And this is yet another issue, right? Another artist. And I don't have the 4th issue because it just kickstarted and it's being printed right now.
We got 4 issues, 4 different artists, 4 different suits. So that works.
Yes, that's it. Tommy beat me to it. I'm trying to get back to it. Tommy beat me to it. That was our plan. We've got 4 issues. There are 4 suits, right? Spades, clubs, diamonds, and hearts. And so we said, look, let's get a different artist on each issue to represent the suits. So we got for lack of a better term, we've got a diamond artist, a heart artist, a club artist, and a spade artist. Now
I inked issue 1 and 2, and I'm inking 4. So
you have inked 4. You finished it.
Yeah. This is something else I'm working on now. Yeah. I'm so crazy.
Tommy, that doesn't reveal any secrets, does it? Can you? It
does. That's why I'm not going too far.
Okay. All right. So Tommy,
you are for a minute. I'm gonna dip out for a minute, eat my dinner, and
sure, Pops.
I'll pop back in.
We got it. Thanks, Pops. So what are you working on, Tommy?
This is Champion Miss Fury issue 2. Actually,
yes.
This is page 3 that I can't zoom out too much because it's going to reveal too much. Well, there's Champion. We can ink on Champion. There's a big reveal on this page that I gotta not show. Right.
Yeah. So that's Champion right there. So that's after the activities of the end of last issue. And if you read the end of last issue, you kind of know what he got himself into. Go back.
We can kind of you can't tell, but this is kind of a hint of this hand.
Yeah, it is.
We're not gonna say.
Yeah. But if you know,
because I've already said it about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
In the past.
Hold on, I like this. I like Baldwin. Work both sides. Get those cells. that's exactly what we ultimately decided to do.
Exactly.
Is that we're gonna try because this book is not about politics at all, American politics at all.
Well,
it's fantasy.
Right. There you go.
It's
fantasy, politics, but not American.
I have had Baldwin, just so you know, I have had people tell me after having read the book that they felt that it was like Game of Thrones without all of the gratuitous sex.
So
what was the point of reading it?
Aaron,
and we are joined by our friend Aaron Humphreys. What's up, Aaron?
Not so much. Working on the obsolete issue 3.
Sweet. Yes, issue 3.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Jose should be inking number 2. Hopefully that should be coming close to the end soon here.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other comments. Let's run through these here. Vic says, I'd say find out the final issue's Kickstarter, but order it as a back issue on the next one. Yeah. So one of the things we do, Pops is still backstage flipping comments. So one of the things we do is for all of our Kickstarters is we offer back issues. Okay. I changed it up this last time because we've got over 30 books now, and I was listing them individually, and I just can't do that anymore. So I just changed it to a Silverline back issue or 5 Silverline back issues, right?
And you say, here's a list of them. Tell me which one you
right,
want.
Yeah. Here they are. Well, what do you want?
Well, it was making that add-on page kind of nutty.
It really was. It really was, and I think that we were losing some of the
turn
original
off,
art.
You go to it. I mean,
yeah. So yeah.
We've got a lot of books. And a lot of them are Aaron's books too.
Yep, which Friar Rush is Aaron's book, one that we're going to be launching here in a little over a week, about a week and a half. So Friar Rush is penciled by Aaron. So you guys.
That was the final issue, right? 3 was.
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember.
3 it's
been a while.
Been a minute, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Vic, for reminding others that yes, you can get back issues from us. Don said, when he said not to forget about the Joker, my mind went to Motorhead. Wait a minute. No. The Motorhead, the Ace of Spades, right? They're the ones that the Ace of Spades.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Ace of Spades. Yeah. So 2 red suits and 2 black suits. Yes. Woody, there are 4 kingdoms. There's the Kingdom of Hearts, the Kingdom of Diamonds, the Kingdom of Clubs, and the Kingdom of Spades. And they are at war. And so only one, if you play much cards, you know, only one suit can be trumps, right? When you're playing cards. And so in this fictional world, only one kingdom can be the suit of power, right? So only one kingdom can be trumps. And when our story starts, we're in the middle of a war between the clubs and the diamonds. And then, of course, all the politics that get involved with the hearts and the spades and all that kind of stuff. And so that's the story that we follow as we are trying to figure out who will the clubs remain trumps, or will there be a new suit of power, as it were. Don said, yep, I think that was to the Motorhead thing. Roland, you got a penciler you need, or do I still got a chance because I ended in another state with no Bristow? What kind of pencil do you need? Oh, you're talking about for the thing we advertised. No, send it if you got pencils. So go ahead and send them in. We're gonna kind of leave that door sort of perpetually. We don't need inkers right now. So if you're out there and you're an inker, you're like, but we got a couple of projects that we need pencilers for, and so if you are a penciler, Vic, send them to me. We are trying to make some of those decisions sooner rather than later. So yeah. Typo. I'm sorry. I read it before everyone else does. Typo filled crap. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
do you have any samples of Friar Rush? Can you show a couple of pages?
I do. You know what? It would be better if actually I just pulled something up and showed everybody. I can show. I don't have a whole lot of Jose's inks just yet, but I do have the entire issue penciled by Aaron. So let me see if I can pull those up
and I'm just speaking out of turn. I'm guessing some of those will be available for rewards. Or
in his generosity, Aaron has made the entire issue available.
Doggone!
The entire issue is available.
Juice it up a little bit.
Yep. So if you are into original art, this is going to be an awesome opportunity for you to own some original art from Aaron. Aaron will also be offering up sketches as commission sketches as add-ons. So if you like that, I would encourage you to get a commission and an original page of art. That would make for a great add-on in this upcoming Kickstarter. And I can't talk and click buttons.
Aaron, are you still doing landscaping add-ons where you go to somebody's house and mow their grass and stuff for them?
No, usually I'll just go on and pee on the tree that mark my territory. So they can get that.
That was last time. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, never mind.
Why will here's a weird thing, and I select the entire issue and it won't let me open it. I have to select only a certain number of files for them to let me open the pages. So
is that in Acrobat you're having that?
No, it's in Photoshop. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like I select all 24 pages and it's like, nope, that's too many. But if I go back and select like 10 pages, it'll let me do it. I don't.
Photoshop's been doing weird stuff to me too lately, and I don't like the subscription. I mean, I've had one where like the magnifier stops working and I have to reboot the program, and there was some other one that it did some other, like it decided some tool stopped working, and then I had to reboot it. And I don't know, since Photoshop is now subscription based, I don't know if they're connected, if it's like streaming from it. I think it's downloaded, but I don't know. I always have problems with new Photoshop. It always is doing weird things to me.
Yeah, same here. All right, so this is we're going to just scroll through some of these pages here. These are Aaron's pencils. Excuse me, from Friar. Not any in no uncertain, in no certain order, I should say. And all of these, by the way, y'all, all of these are going to be available on the Kickstarter. I really like the shadows here, Aaron. This is really nice. The blinds.
So,
yeah. It worked out really nice. So all of these will be available and more. This is of course the splash page. This is a page 1 splash page. Picks up right from where we left off in issue 3. Vic says somebody needs to buy the full issue. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be very cool. I don't know that anyone. I think Aaron's done this for. I think you did it for both issues in the past too. I think.
I think.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't think you held out any pages at all for yourself.
Yeah, I gave him. Alter. Roland should have all of them, or they should be majority of them. I don't think I got. Now there were some pages that were sold.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
but all of them were given to you.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah,
this you did them traditionally, right? You didn't digitally.
No, that's all pencil.
Yep. Yeah. They're all penciled on Bristol board. So yeah. You guys, those you fans of original art, you should consider. You should keep that in mind. I should say. Let me put Tommy back up there. Okay, keep that in mind when the Friar Rush campaign comes along. You can get original art of Aaron's as well as a commission sketch. You can't go to Aaron lives way out west. He lives way up in the northwest. So we never see Aaron.
Unfortunately.
So for those of us over on the West Coast, this would be a great opportunity to get Aaron to do a commission. Because unless you're going to travel over to, you do Emerald City and Rose City, right?
Rose City, yeah.
Rose City, okay.
There's one, and I don't know if I'm going to be doing Rose City anymore just because it's gotten too expensive. I'm not getting much out of it, but we'll see. But there's another one that sprung up in Salem with Tim, TK.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's in June, and I think I'm going to try to get a table there. But it's like one of those older conventions. I think it's called Mid Valley Comic Con, but it's only like $12 to get in. So it's a lower key, which I'm actually looking more at those conventions, and the bigger Rose City was $40 and everything. I want.
Yeah.
So I'm hunting those down more, because it was like Rose City for 3 days was like $300. It just wasn't. This is like $100 for 2 days.
That's crazy.
That's it's just, and most people at those huge cons don't buy comics. So if you're an independent comic creator going there, they just don't buy them as much.
Well, and of course we've talked about this multiple times on our stream, but part of the problem is that the bigger portion of that crowd is going there for the media. For the media people, and so that once they've spent dropped $120 on the get an autograph from the third zombie from the left, they don't they get to you and like, oh, here's my comic book, $5. Oh, I just spent $150 with this actor that no one knows. I don't have any money for your $5 comic. Vic says, I'm excited for the Silver Blade graphic novel. Yeah, you and us both. We're excited for that too. We're hoping to see some of that. That probably won't be anytime soon though. So just hang on to that excitement. I'm sorry, Aaron. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I'm excited for the Silverline one too. Don't mind me going off camera. I am trying to find. I work very, very super old school. I don't know why. Like I still, when I draw, I photocopy the pages down and then I draw from the pages. So there was a page that I had and I can't remember where it's at.
Oh, dude. Mike Barron was just on talking about how he wrote his scripts, and I remember seeing some of his scripts. This is my dialogue for Trump's number 4, right? And this little sound effect there, zoom, right?
I always do that. Yeah.
I write everything out longhand. It's kind of nice to have Pops here pushing the buttons.
A lot of people don't do that anymore, and I've always done that too. I think it's just maybe force a habit. A lot of people do it digitally.
Yeah.
But especially when I'm drawing, I like things surrounding me. I like physicality, and so I don't always like trying to bring stuff up like I'm doing now.
Yeah. I love Vic's comment. His last comment here. He says, "I want a comic convention, not a celebrity and memorabilia convention." Yeah, and I think I guess we could talk about that a little bit. Part of my problem is when you call it a Comic Con and you don't have any comic book guests. They're all media guests. It's like I don't have, look. Here's the deal. I don't have anything against any of these media people, right? I don't. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't watch as much as I probably watch less TV than the average viewer. It's not that I don't watch any TV. Of course I do, but I don't watch that much. But still, if I ran into Shatner on an elevator, cool. I would say, hey, I'm a fan. I like Star Trek. I am not going to pay $120 to see. I'm just not.
It's ridiculous to get an. It's like I'll give my autograph for free.
You're right, yeah. So I'm a comic book guy. If I'm going to pay money, I don't. I'm trying to think of any comic book people I'd pay $120. I really like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, but I'm not sure I'd pay $100. Well, I'd go to a seance now, but I'm not sure I would have paid. I'm not sure I would have paid $120 to see either one of them.
No, same thing. That's the thing. It's too expensive, and there's a part of me that sometimes feels like our comic convention has been hijacked over the years.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was like, and there's a part of me that's trying to figure out exactly when that started, because it was so subtle. And pretty soon,
I can put my finger on it.
Do you think it was San Diego Comic-Con that kind of really helped kickstart that? Okay,
that's definitely there.
And here's why I say this. Okay, so I got into comics in the late 80s, and I got out around 2001. Okay.
Right.
And so, I did conventions in 2001. That was the last time I did conventions again until I went back to the Orlando show, MegaCon, in like 2014. So I was out of shows for 13 years. Mm-hmm. In that time window, I saw them change. Okay, because the next year or two after that, I went with Tommy and Barry, his my longtime friend and his business partner with Kablam, I went with them to San Diego, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this has changed so much.
It's got nuts.
Yeah.
It's just it's super nutty, you know. And you know, there were people crowding, you know, Hall H's just to see a bunch of people, you know, a bunch of actors. I watched the show Vikings, right? But I went to the Vikings panel in like 2017, and I'm like, holy crap, what are all these people doing here? How come they're not here? Why aren't they standing in line like this to go see Todd McFarlane? Right?
That used to be when I was going. That was the draw of the show. It was like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. Like there were lines
in the early '90s. Absolutely, there were.
And now I go to Comic Cons, I see artists like Jeff Darrow sitting there with nobody around. And I'm like, how is that possible? That guy was like a living legend back. You know, some of these artists are like living legends, and they just sit there, collect dust. And I don't get it. I'm like,
I don't get it either. I don't get it. And that's one of the reasons that I know Tommy and I talk about this a lot, but this is one of the reasons you said, Aaron, that you're looking for different shows. I like some of the smaller shows, such as Daytona Beach Comic Book Convention. If you're a fan of comic book shows, if you're a fan of comic books, Daytona Beach Comic Book Convention should be on your list of shows to do. That will be in September at, oddly enough, near Daytona Beach. It's not on Daytona Beach, but it's near Daytona Beach. Silverline will be there. I'm not sure all the people who's going to be there yet, but Silverline will be there. So, as well as a bunch of other independent comics. This is a comic show. They have comic books. They have other things too, but they have comic books and they have comic book creators.
Yeah.
Last year I got to meet George Pratt, someone I'd never met before. I'm like, oh, so cool, you know. And it's like I didn't even realize he lived down here. So.
There's a lot of, you know, for Portland being the big hubbub of like the comic, where all the comic companies, and Rose City is the only real Comic Con within the Portland. Salem's an hour away, and then that's the closest one, and that just started up again. But then you have to go a few hours outside of Portland. You would think there'd be little comic conventions all over in Portland with all the but there's not.
You think, yeah.
It's really bizarre, and I've never really quite grasped why. Like, you think you would have these people doing like at the local library, like, hey, let's get together at the local library and do a little con or pop it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know either. Vic says, I wish I would have bit the bullet to see Perez at the last convention I went to. Perez now, I mean, Perez was local to us. From what I recall, I don't think Perez charged to see him. I think he might have charged for an autograph, but that money went to Heroes Initiative, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, I understand why celebrities charge for their autographs to a point. Because if they didn't, then they would be there forever. And you just it was like they can only do so much. But sometimes the price. I mean, there's one. I'm not going to say the celebrity name, but just to get an autograph is $250. I'm like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, that's my grocery bill, man.
Right.
You know, like I can't doing that on an autograph.
Yeah.
It's like I'm an artist. I'll forge your signature.
Don't say that. Don't say that on the stream. You'll get us kicked off.
Oh yeah, I know. But I mean, still, it's just, it's crazy to me because I'm like, I understand, but there's a point like maybe $50.
Yeah,
or like 40, but like 200.
I don't even know that is insane. Yeah, I would rather buy their older book that's worth than you know. I don't mind going by and saying hi and fist bumping or what, but I don't need to pay money.
For the most of the time, if I go to these conventions, if I see celebrities, like I've seen certain celebrities that I liked as a kid, movie celebrities, if I see them, that's enough for me. I don't need to meet them.
Right.
I mean,
because I'm with you. That's the same way I am. Yeah.
Because I remember I saw John Cusack, and this lady's like, well, why don't you go say hi to John? I'm like, I don't know that.
Why?
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I've seen his movies. Doesn't mean I know him on a personal level.
Right. Yeah. So, he's not your buddy, you know?
No. So I was always like, I'm not really sure. You know, I kind of understood, like, you know, oh, hey, don't be shy. And I'm like, no, I'm shy. It's somebody I don't know.
I love this attitude from Dawn right here. Dawn says, to be honest, I want to meet the little guy and support them. That way, when they strike it big, I know I helped. I love that attitude. You know, I think that's fantastic.
I always think it's funnier that it is harder to get somebody they throw $5 down on a comic book that they're like, they see, oh, that looks interesting, but they'll turn around and spend $20 on 11x17 print. It's just a print. So you can't read it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could buy 4 comics, and like I was always like, I always sold my prints for like, especially black and white, it's like, what was it, $5 or $10, and then I sold the colors maybe for 12 or 15. I actually had one where I sold the black and whites for $5 and the colors for 10, and everyone got mad at me. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I buy these things for like 76 cents on the
right. Yeah,
I mean, I'm like,
well, and that's the funny thing, right? So it cost, you know, what, $3 to print a comic, and it cost $1 to print a print. Comics are being, you know, you're selling your it costs you $3 to print your comic. You're selling it for $5, right? You're selling a print for $20. Wait a minute, what? And here's the other thing I find funny, Aaron. Tommy, you might have to rein me in. Here's the other thing I find funny. You go to these conventions and you see this guy sitting there selling Spider-Man and Wonder Woman and Batman, right? And people buying their prints, and I'm like, why? That guy did not do any Spider-Man. He did not do any Wonder Woman. He's never drawn any comics. But that guy over there sitting beside him, you know, 3 tables down, did. Why don't you go buy something from them, right? Don't buy these $20 print from this poster jockey, print pirate, whatever you want to call it. You know, they never drew Spider-Man except and they're doing it illegally, and you're buying it. And here's the other thing. You're spending $20 to buy a print from someone who never drew Spider-Man, and what are you going to do with it? You're not going to go hang it on your wall. You're going to go put it in a drawer at home. Don't go spend that $20 and go buy some comic books.
Go buy a book.
I never got, because I was always like, do people really hang these up? Because I mean, they don't really cover a wall. And I mean, I know Randy Emberlin, I think, has been up here for years, and he did Spider-Man and stuff, and he's always been a staple. But again, it's like that guy should have more attention than the guy selling.
And that's different. Tell him, Roland. Yeah.
It is weird because getting people to buy comic book, and it's gotten to the point at the last Rose City that people actually, when they walk by, sometimes get surprised that I am selling comic books, and I'm like, if that's actually like the surprise at a Comic-Con, then I'm like throwing my towel in. I mean, I just don't know what to say. I mean, it's really weird, and I always find that weird when $5 is their deciding point, because I'm like, you spend more on McDonald's.
Yeah. I
don't get that, but like you'll spend more on food that's not necessarily good for you, but you can't buy it's like pulling teeth. And I used to the $5 prints because I do, you know, Transformers and Star Wars, and a lot of little kids like the black and white ones. And I'm not gonna charge a little kid. I mean, if he's got like $5, I'm like, okay, $5, that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
You know, here, have a picture, and then the kids just like the art. So I just, you know, so I wasn't there. I mean, to me, I would rather somebody be happy, but yeah, the $20 and like $20 is minimum, and then they would go high. Like, dude, and I mean, it's strange if you really wanted to. $20, you could buy a graphic novel.
Right,
Most
exactly.
Graphic novels are for like, so I'm just like,
I gotta say it. When I see somebody walk by with a print,
You want to just slap it?
I just
slap it out of their hands.
I'm thinking $20. Did you buy the books that story is related to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did
even
you get the whole story,
read
or
them.
did you just buy a?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you know, people talk about, when comments like that come up, you know, people say, well, you know, that's gatekeeping. It's like, well, no, it's not. I want people to read the comics.
Yeah.
I don't want them to buy the prints and then pretend that they know what the comics are about. You know what I mean?
Think the funniest ones I get.
That's a different thing.
I gotta call out the word gatekeeping too. Gatekeeping is something that you do to protect your own brand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And it has nothing to do with anybody else's stuff.
No.
It's you protecting your own brand. That's gatekeeping. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you go out and you tell people, hey, don't go buy that guy's stuff. No. Now you've crossed the line from gatekeeping to cancel culture. And I don't get that. I don't mind somebody protecting their own brand from things that can harm them, though. That's what you're supposed to do. Your family, your friends, your stuff, you're supposed to protect it.
Protect it. That's right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just had to jump in and say that. I'm up in
No, that's right.
No,
you're absolutely right.
I'm amazed at how many people I meet that watch the Marvel movies. I'm like, when I explain the comics, like, we should read the comic books. No, I don't read comic books. And I don't understand, like, I don't read comic books and that you're watching the movies based on it. Like
here's where I think that comes from, and I say this as a teacher of people who want to go be writers, right? I think it's not necessarily about money, but it's about time investment, right? It's like I can sit down and watch this movie for 2 hours or maybe 3 hours. But if I got to watch the comics, or read the comics, well, it's going to take me longer than that to read, which I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it's a time investment.
It's going to take you longer to read a 24-page comic. It's going to take you more than 2 hours. That must have been a really good comic.
No.
Yeah,
you're right.
You really want to read comics? Just put them by the toilet. I mean, really. A lot of people get reading done that way. I mean,
you're not lying.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So I'm like, there you go. You don't have to do the time investment. Just every time you go in to do your business, read a comic book.
There you go.
Pretty soon you'll have
you can generally read a comic in one sitting.
Yeah, generally, yeah. So I'm like,
you guys are killing me now. You're killing me now.
I have to be careful how I say that word.
Hold up. No fecal matter.
Y'all remember that episode of Seinfeld where what's his name?
George.
Bought the book. It was in the bookstore, and he took it into the bathroom, and he couldn't put it back on the shelf. Y'all remember that?
I think I remember that.
I gotta say this out loud. No fecal matter on the comic books. Keep them out of the bathroom.
We're not saying to use it afterwards. We're saying enjoy the comic and store it.
That's not what I'm saying. Fecal matter floats in the air, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't get that shit on the comics, man. You got the comic right over the open bowl. No.
Literally, don't get it on the comic.
No.
Let me get a couple of these comments here. Vic says, so I could have met him talking about George Perez and didn't. I'm a cry. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So,
I never met him either. I wanted to, but he was down in Florida, right?
Yeah. He lived.
So I think the most when he came to the West Coast, I think the most he would come to would either be like San Diego or maybe Emerald. The bigger ones. He would never come to smaller ones.
Right. Yeah.
So I never got that chance. I understand.
Now all you need is a Coliseum of Comics ad. And he's right. Vic is right. If you find yourself in Orlando and you are a comic book fan and you need comic books, you need to make your way to Coliseum of Comics. Particularly the one down on East Colonial, because they have Silverline Comics. And all you got to do is go into the store and say, hey, I am looking for Silverline Comics. They know exactly where we're at. They will point you to the way. In fact, there's a whole bunch of them there. I was there on Friday. Picked up my copy. My pal Jeff ever listened to this. Picked up my copy of the comic book price guide. You guys probably didn't know this, but if you turn to page 36, I think, in the comic book price guide, look what you're going to find there. Check that out. It's a Silverline ad, right? In the comic book price guide. How cool is that?
Yeah, but I heard those guys suck.
Oh,
says the guy who's about to
kind of working on it. Look, man, I'm just trying to help you not suck as bad. That's my job.
Oh, that's what.
Just giving you crap.
No.
Let's
see here.
I'm glad to see the ads in there, though.
Yeah, I remember that, Roland. Do even make your 15 so don't remember it joke?
Huh?
I don't know. Vicky, I know you said it. I know you said that you struggle with words. I don't know. Phil, what is up, Phil? My head again.
Hey.
Sorry. Phil, for those of you who don't know, Phil is coloring one of our books, and just as soon as he's done with the next issue, we'll be able to kickstart that next issue. So there you go. Vic says, have you guys noticed that my generation makes stuff like webtoons and there's barely any of us making comic books? Yeah, yep. Vic, we have noticed that, and we've talked about that before. That's probably the subject of an entire stream, though, as to why that is the case, or why a lot of us think it might be the case. Dawn said, we saw Frankie Banali after a Quiet Riot performed at a festival. He was checking out the vendors. We walked up to him, told him it was a great show, chatted a few minutes, and went our separate ways. So I know who Quiet Riot is. Unfortunately, I don't know the band members of Quiet Riot, so I'm gonna guess Frankie is one of those band members. And I remember things like that happening, and back when I first started doing shows, and it was not unusual to see some of the celebrity guests walking around the floor. Heck, not even too long ago. Tommy, you weren't there. I met the dude who played what's the dotted character from the Suicide Squad? Yeah. What was his name?
I know his
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, I know the actor. I can't think of his name. Yeah,
I met the actor. Right, he was walking around the floor at a little show in Memphis, just walking around. Stood there and talked to us for a few minutes. Said incredibly nice things about the books that he flipped through. Super nice guy. I was at MegaCon a few years ago, and Brent Spiner comes walking by. He stopped at my buddy. I was standing there talking to my buddy Jeff Whiting. And he stopped and talked to Jeff for just like 30 seconds, and then he said, "Where's booth so and so?" So he was looking for something and couldn't find that particular booth, because if you've ever been to MegaCon, it's confusing as crap. You can't find anything there in Artist Alley. And so he was looking for something, and we helped to point him up, but he stopped and he told Jeff's wife, he looked at her, he goes, "I love you."
But Brent Spiner, I mean, a lot of those guys from the Next Generation show, they're really funny guys.
Yeah. They're fantastic. Let's see here. Vic says, "I gotta start doing drafts on my comments." Maybe if you want us to understand them, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see if we can make don't.
After you type it, read it before you press that enter
button.
Right,
yeah, make sure it makes sense.
A drummer that passed.
Yeah. He was a drummer that has since passed. I was kind of referring to celebrities charging for autographs. I hate it. Yeah. I think a lot of us don't really like that. All right, Pops, stop that. I think it must be Pops doing the change, or it automatically swaps. I don't know. Oh no. Okay, we're good. We're good.
I just brought myself in. That's
no. I see it now. I thought. Okay, so long story short, Pops, I keep myself at the bottom so that when the comments pop up, they cover me and not any of my.
I usually put the person who's not showing their face, like in this case where I have my avatar up.
That would be fine. Yeah, sure.
It's not covering anything up.
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, I just when we're all here, I don't want the comments to cover up Tommy or Aaron. I'd rather cover up.
That's all right. Nobody wants to see.
I know Tommy doesn't care, but I don't want to do that. So
I figured they'd rather see your face than the top of Aaron's head, but okay.
You think so?
At least
I like this. We gotta get this comment up here.
Don't be like Aaron and draw like this.
This is my friend Doran from Whitefire Comics, guys.
Uh-oh.
Says whoever is inking is a beast.
And Quint.
Oh, wow.
That is Tommy, and we agree with you, Whitefire. He is a beast.
Doran Corkum. He is the creator.
Best tracer
of
I know.
And Quint.
Best tracer.
That's right.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time.
He doesn't even use tracing paper anymore. That's how good Tommy is.
That's how good.
Yeah.
Now, I popped back in to chime in on the autograph thing because I used to work for Z-Rock, okay, like back in the 90s. Yeah. And I pretty much met everybody in heavy metal, okay, and got over my fanboy thing and got over that whole celebrity thing like back then, right? Because I was talking to people all the time. Ted Nugent, Alice Cooper, just whoever came in the station. And but I'm gonna tell you, Roland, the day I asked Mike Barron, the first time I talked to Mike, I said, "Hey man, do you want to come out and be on the CRoMCon?" And Mike messaged me back it was Facebook, obviously, and he sent me back his phone number and he said, "Call me, Pops." And there was I don't care who the hell I've met in the past. There was nothing that matched up to that. Ted Nugent never said, "Here's my number. Give me a call sometime, Pops." Yeah. Okay. None of them guys. The whole thing, and Mike was that personable, that much of an old school dude, whereas like, I'd rather talk to you on the phone. Give me a call, not this text crap, right? Give me a call, Pops. We'll talk. we became friends.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we became friends.
Yeah.
Because I respected that so much, dude. I fanboyed over Mike Barron giving me his phone number more than every autograph I've ever gotten from anybody.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know, because that was personal.
You know what I found, you know, because as you might imagine, when I became an editor, one of the things that I got to do was call some of these people that I had admired as a reader, you know, and Vic mentioned George Perez. You know, George did a cover for me when I was an editor. He did a wraparound cover. He did and you know, imagine when you've been a fan of George Perez, you know, for years. And as an editor, the Zombie Boy guy is working on a Silverline book. I got to call George Perez and say, "Hey, here's who I am. How much for a cover? I want you to do a cover for us." You know, yeah, that was fantastic getting to call and talk to a lot of people, a lot of creators that I had admired, you know, over the years.
Social media has watered down the phone call.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Now it means so much more to me. Back before the internet, before instant messaging and all that. Oh, how cool is instant messaging? No, man, I miss actually hearing somebody's voice and hearing the passion in their voice and the inflection and whatnot, which is totally lost in text. You know,
until he heard my voice and he started rethinking the whole texting option again.
Nah.
Really? No, he was not.
To me, it has become a huge part of. I'd rather talk to somebody like this.
Ultra Force Vic came after the cover he did for me. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and look. I think the cover he did for me might have been the first thing he did for Malibu, and that kind of helped to establish a relationship with George. But the cover he did for me was actually before he did the Ultra Force.
He's drawn so much that George Perez is pretty fast.
Yes, he's fast, or he was fast. Yeah.
And that does count.
White Fire. Tommy, here you go. Listen. He goes, I wish I could ink like that.
Well,
White Fire.
Practice.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you've been doing it 30 years, see if you still say the same thing.
I was going to say decades, but I was going to try to be nice at the same time. 30 years sounds better than decades, actually.
It does.
Mommy, tell us the day they invented ink. You remember.
I still make my own ink. You know, I squeeze it out of the towel. No, that's not where ink comes from. Where does ink come from?
It's the blood of the trees, isn't it?
The blood of the trees.
It comes out of my digital pencil now is where it comes up.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think it's so fun. I guess it's technically not inking, is it? I guess what is it?
Yeah, I know what that would be.
Is it digitizing? Is that? Yeah.
Digital tracing.
Digital tracing, yeah.
So was this the Genesis line book? Yes, Vic. This was it was actually Genesis 0. And it was the wrapper. It was a foil wraparound. It's got two different color logos. There's a gold and there's a silver. Gold and a silver. So, Vic, send me a private message about that Genesis book, and I'll fill you in. Apparently, those have gotten to be harder to find in the cheap boxes these days. They used to be pretty common. You could find them. You can still find a lot of the Protectors issues. You can still find a lot of the Ultraverse comics.
Did you guys ever make any graphic novels?
Tommy's been inking for over a quarter of a century. Say again, Aaron?
Didn't you?
Did you
guys make any graphic novels? Any of the Ultraverse stuff? I can't remember. I think you made one a Prime.
Yeah, there was a Prime. We did
I think that was
Shredded.
Yeah,
we never did make any one of the my Nightman stuff that I worked on.
Yeah,
no.
I always wish there was a Nightman one.
It was funny because now it's you make 4 issues and everybody expects a graphic novel. Back then it was still more of a rarity. They would pick and choose.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's funny because you go back and like people like graphic novels of the older stuff and it's like no. I mean, now they have omnibuses collecting the older stuff, but back then it was like you just kind of had to hunt the issues down. I mean, when I remember when I was collecting the X-Men, I think the only graphic novel I got was the Dark Phoenix saga. And then they had like, was it Man Kills or God Kills, something like that was the original graphic novel. But that was
the Marvel, Marvel did a line of kind of the oversized graphic novel. I got most of those,
But there was no like, I mean, we would never collect the X-Men and then get a graphic novel. It was not like today. Yeah,
no, that didn't come until later. Now they did the digest stuff, right? I remember I first read Spider-Man 1 through 14 in one of those small little digest.
The digest books, the small ones. I think you could actually pick some of those up at the grocery store back in the day.
And that's how I read the first 14 issues of Spider-Man. You know.
Yeah. But strangely enough, that was not the norm. Graphic novels were still really the exception back in the 80s, 90s when I was collecting.
Bobby Westgate says, "Hello, Tommy. What's up, Screw Loose?" Whitefire says, "Ha talking about the 30 years." He goes, "I've been trying to figure out how to publish for 30 years. Ha ha ha. Learned inking at school for graphic design, but digital inking I find harder."
It is definitely the one thing I've noticed with digital inkers. I don't know if you do this, and I've watched them. Is you'll get people redo a line, like they'll do a line and then they'll erase it, and then they'll redo the line and erase it, and redo the line and erase it. And I'm like with you, Tommy, it's like when you use original ink, when you did the line and that was the line you had to commit to it, so it became faster. But now since they're looking for that, I mean, I watched somebody like draw the same line 4 times, and each time I'm like, what are you doing? That looked fine to be like, but
I've seen Tommy do that some. I don't know about 4 times. I've seen Tommy because Tommy and I do a lot of conventions together, and we often sit beside each other. And he's often kind of like he is now. He's he's not looking at us, but he's listening and he's talking, but he's looking at his pad while he draws. And so this is often what we do at a convention. Yeah, right. So I'll be sitting beside him and we'll be talking, and Tommy's inking, and I'll see him and do something, and then he's got it down so smooth now. It's like. Dot tap tap dot tap tap dot tap tap, and I'm like, how are you doing that so fast? He goes, it's a double tap. He goes, you have to have the two fingers have to touch it, and you have to double tap.
2 fingers is an undo.
Yeah, so it's like it's an undo.
I also keep a little keyboard to the side because I'm doing it on the iPad, so I can do the kind of like when you were using, when you were doing it with the Photoshop and stuff. I can still do the hotkeys if I need to. But what he's Aaron, even. You're saying that you think it was faster. I'm way faster inking digitally than I was on paper.
Oh no, I think digital inking's faster. I just think some people who learn to ink digitally, that one little area slows them down.
They haven't figured that
because
part out yet.
Because I think me and you, who've inked traditionally for so many years, are so used to just committing to the line and moving on. And people who start inking digitally, if that's their first time, I think get nervous or you see what I'm saying? Like
try again.
Right. When me and you and we were used to you put the line down, I was like, that's kind of what it is. Or I can
done.
It's done. Yeah.
My goal when I was doing it on paper, Roland and I have talked about this a bunch of times. Try to look at a page to see if there's no whiteout on it. Right. So it was like, I'm not gonna fix anything. I'm just gonna make it work. Keep on going. That page has no whiteout on it. There's no, and I never was lucky enough to be able to afford the digital, or not a digital, but the ink eraser, the electric eraser.
Yeah, the electric one. Yeah.
I never bothered worrying with it. I just whatever you put down, it's like you made it work. Just
it had to be a pretty big mistake to be fixed. I mean, there were a ton of little mistakes.
Exactly.
I'm like, whatever. But if it was like a huge mistake, then okay, yeah. But there's a lot of stuff.
Editor, I have seen plenty of pages come through that have these big globs of whiteout. Right? You're looking at the page and you're like, don't bend that. You're gonna crack all that whiteout.
You're gonna crack all the whiteout. Yeah, you got to keep it flat. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's you just kind of have to kind of learn part of it is controlling the ink, and part of it is accepting what happens, which I think there's something to that a little bit.
And as you know, it's the knowing what you want the line to look like before you put it down. It's not trying to. It's like some of those guys you see that just keep changing it over and over again because they don't know what they're. Right. They don't know what the line is already. I mean, I can look at this stuff and I can already see what I want the line to look like, and as long as I get it kind of close, I just keep on going.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but a lot of the lines and stuff that's just going to blend into the overall look of the page. I mean, you think of a bigger picture, like this is generally what's going to look like overall, instead of like, because I mean, I really want to meet the guy who's like, I really like that comic, but that one line here,
right? Yeah,
like that ain't gonna happen. So you just gotta learn.
No, and then you realize, I zoomed way on this to try to get those feathering lines, but I mean, this page is a print about this big. You can't see that,
right?
Why am I worried about it so much? Man, don't worry about it.
You start to learn how to sleep better at night. That's for sure. Not waking up.
Get done with it. Get the contour parts and stuff in there.
He's talking about the comics. He says they moved from the quarter bins to dollar bins, and it's crazy and it hurts my wallet. You and me both. I'm you can ask Tommy. I'm a huge fan of the cheap boxes, and I don't know that I consider a dollar bin a cheap box. I like to see them a little cheaper than that. Vic says you got 2 shots max. You can't white out for a 3rd shot. I can't speak to that. I don't know. I guess. I have seen. I will say this: I have seen globs of whiteout on a page before.
Yeah.
It was funny when I went to the Kubrick school for a little while. They would have original art in there, and I was always amazed looking at some of those. Like, these are very famous artists. Half of it was whiteout. Like right? You can just see. It's like as you could tell. I mean, the artists back then, it's like nobody cares. I mean, there was one that was even cut out. Like somebody had cut out, like done art.
I've had to do that.
Cut out, put it over. Like no one cares what it looks like because no one's going to see it in the end.
Right. Well,
it looked like a mad scientist art project sometimes.
Yeah. Well, when you print it, I mean, the artwork is just there to be reproduced for publication. So it doesn't matter if you've taken the page and cut it in half and sewn pieces on, whatever.
It's funny to look at, but you can see.
Whitefire said he is a robot. All right, you're gonna have to help me with this word. I got a Zinsalab for shortcuts. It's rock. I don't know what that Zinsalab.
It must be
Zinslab.
Let me look it up.
Zinsalab for shortcuts. Whitefire, you're gonna have to. I don't. Tommy or Aaron, y'all don't know what that is? He pops back on. Maybe he knows what it is.
The drawing tablet.
No, I'm assuming that's a program or something that he's using.
It's a drawing tablet.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
Zinsalab is a pen tablet. It looks pretty nice. Okay, so it's look more like a Wacom type of tablet
it's
instead
an
of
Amazon.
Cintiq.
It's an Amazon.
Okay, it's on Amazon.
Okay, so that looks pretty cool. I wonder if this is a newer company. I've not seen this brand before.
There, once, it depends on how you want to pronounce it. Wacom or Wacom, whatever.
Yeah.
What is there? A dozen knockoff brands of those?
Oh yeah.
But
before that guy,
Phil's joining. But right now I'm pretty much inking everything I'm doing, not just inking, but penciling and coloring everything just on an iPad Pro, just because it's just so easy to run around and it draws so well, especially once you put like a matte screen protector on it to give it a little bit of tooth. So that's what I use to do everything. Yeah.
I thought about somebody. I eventually, through a roundabout, got a Cintiq. I got somebody to pay for mine, so I have a Cintiq I drawn.
Yeah.
What kind?
Just Tommy allowed to show this.
Because they got the Pro versions and the other ones, and there's so many different variations of
There is. This is a Wacom Cintiq. I'm not sure. I think it's a 24-inch one. So it's a medium. I think it's a medium size, but I think it's like 24-inch or something like that. Not bad. I like Cintiq.
What's the surface like?
That new voice you're hearing, folks, is Mr. Phil Leon.
Hello.
It's a little smoother. I think don't the newer ones have a little bit of
Tom knows that guy, Roland. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of tooth, you say?
I think the newer ones. I think I got it in 2021.
Okay.
Or 2022 or something like that. So relatively new, but Cintiqs. This is what I used in art school. So I thought about buying a tablet, but since somebody was going to foot the bill for this, and like, you want a Cintiq? No.
I've been thinking about. I've been using a Intuos 4 Pro for a while, but that's non-screen, so I kind of like to get back to like a screen, but I definitely want something with tooth. That's what scares me about the on-screen tablets, because no slick surface for me.
This is kind of slick. I would say it's kind of slick. Now, I think you could probably buy a screen overlay. I'm sure they sell that.
Most of everybody sells some sort of screen protector that's got, a tooth to it. I know for the iPad, there is a bunch of ones. There's one called like paper light or paper something or another, but I just use a matte screen protector, and that gives me enough drag to make it feel like I'm drawing on paper.
Does it mess with the image at all? Like changing the look of the color or the parallax or anything like that?
No, it's like drawing.
Yeah, the cool thing with the iPad is that it's you were so amazed how there is no, the glass is right on the monitor, unlike some of these other knockoff drawing tablets where there is a good quarter of an inch sometimes.
That drives me nuts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I've drawn on so many of them. Even those cheap ones that I've drawn on. Once you've put in, a week or two, 40 hours worth of drawing, your brain gets trained not to even see it anymore, and you just draw. And so I've never really had a problem. Once it's a pain in the butt at the beginning, but your brain just kind of works with it, and you just. But so far, the iPad thing is the best thing that I've ever drawn on.
I've been looking around and shopping around and looking, but I was thinking of a Cintiq Pro 16, one of the newer ones. The one reason I'd go with that over there, they have a regular Cintiq 16. The only thing is where it has an issue that I'd have an issue with, as far as with the color aspect, is it's only got like a 76% color accuracy, where the Pro version has like a 96% accuracy.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're never going to get 100% RGB to CMYK. It just, because the Cintiq's always shining light into your eyes.
Right.
Changing the color, and then it's always going to look a little darker. I've just kind of generally got to the point where I know the screen's going to look different, and I don't mind it being a little darker. If you are a perfectionist, I basically just it's also personalizing your Cintiq and your monitor to get what you want. But that's been an ongoing fight between printers and monitors.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of used to the dulling down colors for CMYK. I've usually got it pretty much where when I do a conversion, it looks pretty much the same in CMYK as it did RGB. And I didn't want to at the time because I really didn't have the extra to spend on it, but I ended up getting a Asus Pro Art monitor, and it is Adobe color accurate through the CalMet or whatever the color calibration company is. A lot of people use, so it's like straight out of the factory. And ever since I've used that, anything I've seen on screen, when I get it back in print, it looks so close that I'm really happy with that. So I could, even if I did have the tablet with it being a little bit different, I could still look up at the monitor and see how it's looking there too.
All right, so I gotta ask you guys: did any of you see last night's Horror Movie Club, the segment on the show last night, when I unboxed Butch Cleaver #2 by Matt Burke?
I was familiar as you said Witch Cleaver. I'm Butch Cleaver. Okay, got it.
I thought you said Ward Cleaver.
Butch Cleaver. All right, he's kind of a mysterious dude, right? With the coat and the guns and the slaughter weapons. Well, look what I got with it, guys.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
Is that badass or what?
It's yours.
Yeah, that's nice.
Cool. Matt Burke, dude. Both books. He sent me both books. I'm going to read them probably tomorrow morning.
Good. You're not basically going to read them aloud. And I was going to be like, oh.
I read everything. I read them all, Roland. If I buy it, I read it. It doesn't just like get thrown in a box, The tchotchkes, I go through them all. The stickers and stuff go on the filing cabinets.
Do you wear your white gloves while you wear your white gloves while you're doing it, Pops?
No. The books are not. I don't sell the books. You guys know that. Yeah. They're going to be Travis's. They're going to be Isaac's. They're going to be Gabe's. They're not. It's like they're going to get handed down, and I'm not one of them grading guys. I believe that grading and speculation is what ruined the Western comics. That's why manga kicks our ass, because they still have a disposable product that people put in their back pocket. They give it to their friend to read.
Yep.
There ain't no value attached to it. Every comic now, every single comic has to be in a bag and a board, and it has to be. I know.
And I see people posting on Twitter now is like, comic creators who run Kickstarters are obligated to bag and board them. I think that's the biggest load of hooey I've ever heard.
Well, no,
you go to the comic shop, they don't bag and board them.
This is where you learn the quality of that creator. I know some people that put them in Mylars too.
I hate it when comic shops bag and board comics on the rack. That drives me nuts. I'm like, can I look in the comic?
Yeah, I want to look at the comic.
I don't care. I want to look inside.
Yeah, I don't like it at the store.
As a creator, it's my job to do. If I'm running a Kickstarter, it's my job to deliver you a comic book in a good condition, right? And in like brand new condition, you just bought it. It is not my job to bag and board your comic. If you want to do that, you can.
It's there to read, not just sit on a shelf and look pretty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is also something though, as a creator, you incur the cost of bags and boards. Like when you Gemini, you have to pay for Gemini's, bags, boards, all the stuff you package with, all that stuff. That cost all gets figured in, right? You figure that into your cost. That's part of your campaign price. Okay, the price of your book. If you don't figure that in, you got a rude awakening coming at the end of your campaign.
Yeah.
But this is the whole thing. They've made it to the point where now, because every comic could someday have some kind of monetary value, that we want every comic in perfect freaking condition.
Well, I always explain to people why why were comics, especially older comics, so valuable? And I'm like, just for what Pop said, they were disposable.
They're forgetting. Everybody was throwing them away.
So the ones that survive, I guess, the
rarity
was tossing them.
Yeah, the rarity is what brings up the price on it.
Yeah, but now nobody throws away comics. So if you're not throwing away comics now, they're everywhere. So it only matters like why Superman #1, because a lot of them were tossed and recycled and destroyed. So the ones that survived are valuable. But now everyone.
You mean my 20 copies of Spawn #1 aren't worth anything?
No, only if you have 21. You only have 21, so you got to get 21 of them.
Damn,
yeah, I know. I mean, it was like. And I felt bad because I remember like in the comic shop owners back at all the speculator market, then they would just have like boxes of like Spawn ones and stuff, just tons of them.
Yes.
And it's the scarcity that brings it. So collecting modern comics isn't really going to do much for
See, now they've made it worse though, because now you got Diamond forcing a comic book store to buy 100 of something in order to get the one variant that is rare is actually going to be worth something, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now he's got 78 books in the dollar bin.
I was going to say most comic shops.
But Diamond calls it sales. And it's not sales if it doesn't go out the freaking door to a fan.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense for a comic shop as much of a small margin they have going on things for them to pick up 100 copies. I wouldn't think.
It's there's a lot to the reasons why Western comics are getting their asses kicked, and it's just because manga's still disposable. As soon as they figure out a way to start slabbing those guys, they're gonna ruin that shit too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's unfortunately, he's right. Manga is just always, and they sell at price point. That's why I still find it funny today, even when like so many people. I had a company that wouldn't buy colored comics. Like unless the comic's colored, they won't buy it. And I never understood. People even looked at mine when they sell black and white. They're like, "Well, why isn't it colored?"
I still got another news flash though.
You guys buy tons of manga in black and white. What is this color thing coming from? Like, why is it like Western comics don't get a pass? Only manga does?
I got another news flash for you though. That value in comics, that speculatory value in comics, is also why comic paper is the only paper that's golden right now.
Yep.
Well, I do know.
Nobody else have fucking paper shortages and skyrocketing prices for their paper. Just
I know all about not having paper to print on.
Yeah, Tommy, I know how you can make your Spawn #1 boost in value.
Okay, what do I got to do?
What I got to do?
Go out and buy about 3,000 copies of all of them you can find, and then burn 2,999 of them.
Oh man, so I got to invest in more. I don't want to buy any more.
Look, it's a sad truth, but it really is. I mean, that's why Western comics are suffering. Is because everything might be worth something someday, and they've attached a value to something that doesn't have a value per se.
Also the fact that a lot of the when the speculators, not many people read the comics, so you started losing readerships. If the people who want to read the story can't actually get the comic to read it, then they're going to go somewhere else. It's like, people wanted to buy back issues because they want to fill in a gap to read the story.
Yeah,
and everybody but they're begging boredom, and like, I mean, even to this day, I don't get it. Like, I like toys too, but like even the toy thing, where they like, I buy them in the package and I hang them up, and I'm like, why? why are you keeping it in the package?
No, I got some toys in packages, but that's because I got grandkids and I'm making them go through what I had to go through.
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter that loves Electra, and I have an Electra action figure, and she is after me at least once a month. Grandpa, can I open that? I was like, no. Your daughter can open it. That's what I was like.
Right.
Look, I was a collector. Then when they started grading stuff, started grading baseball cards, I knew it was all over.
Yeah.
Because they started saying that your card that's in this condition is worth less than my card in the same condition if I put plastic around it.
I never got that. I always feel do you always feel like a little bit of like when you see comic books and those slabs of comic, don't you feel kind of sad, like you want to free the comic, like, hey buddy, you want to be read, don't you? We'll free you.
Okay, look, but this is my point. Okay, I got 2 points. First, a 9.8 comic book in a bag and board is worth the same amount as a 9.8 book in a slab.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's my first. Okay, I don't care. They're both 9.8. Why is one worth more than the other? I don't get it. Okay, now they say, because somebody graded it. Okay, well now you have 1,000 different people grading comics nationwide, and not one of them see a flaw in the same degree. Not any two of them see a single flaw exactly the same way. So how is there a grading system?
Not only that, it is not cheap to get those slabbed either.
No,
Look, it was a scam in the beginning, and so many people bought into it that it's actually something people call legit now. But I'm still going to tell you, there's no two graders in the nation that'll look at one book and grade it the same way.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
So where do you get a grading system from? Who's training these people? What's the blow by blow criteria that they
maybe
have
this
to
is
go
something
through?
we need to do AI for Mid-Journey, that we can have an artificial intelligence grade comics.
I heard that Mid-Journey went down yesterday or something.
Good.
I don't know if it was, I don't know if it was like forever, or I don't think it was forever, but I heard it, like they were having a big glitch. Can't imagine why. Quit stealing people's shit. They're going to code it with some kind of fucking, somebody's going to virus the fuck out of their AI.
Okay, I think that's time for the Silverline. We've gone past the PG-13, so it's time for the Silverline hour to end.
I had my filter on. I've been being a good boy.
Yeah, you've been good. Pops has a hard time with his filter, though.
At some point, somebody is going to put a virus in one of them pieces of art that they scan, that they steal. Somebody's going.
Yeah.
at some point somebody's going to screw them back. They need to leave people's stuff alone. You know?
I'm surprised
I
it
didn't
hasn't
know to do
happened
that.
already.
I'm sorry, Pops. I don't know what I
You
did.
do whatever you want. It's your
I
show.
was just looking for my little brief little in stream thing.
If I have to not F-bomb, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. I just wanted to,
if it's not
to get our
CRoMCon,
little ending there with April saying "Make mine Silverline." So,
did you go and take a peek before you're out of here at something, man? Before?
Does it exist?
Yeah, it does exist.
Yes, I would love to.
It's
you got
it's
it
down in the sharing. Yeah,
oh,
there you go.
look
I'll
at
give
that.
you guys
Cool.
a little peek,
nice.
man.
Nice.
Give you a little bit of a peek for right now.
Is that
I've been
issue
grinding away, but
3?
I've had
That's
some
White
other.
Devil number 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2.
So I've been doing a bit juggling, getting sequentials done. I've got a lot of creatures on the slab right now. But there's just a couple of sneak peeks that I brought up.
That looks cool.
I had fun with that reflection. That was the first time I worked on a reflection in water, I believe, in all the time I've been doing stuff. So that was fun.
Nice.
Like I said, we got this one right here where I got to do a little landscape painting in that top panel a little bit.
That's
nice.
But yeah, that's where we're at right
Looking
now.
good, Phil. Looking good.
Thank you.
So since I'm gonna put you on the spot, since we're live broadcasting to all, any rough estimation as to when it will be complete?
I am moving ahead as quickly as I can in between my job because we'll give you an example, okay?
Spoken like a true artist.
Right now on the table, I've got this cover going on.
That's nice.
I've got this card I'm working on.
Cool.
I just wrapped up this cover and got a little bit of a short story over at Antarctic. And yeah, so I'm doing a lot of juggling, but I'm getting it out as quickly as possible.
Juggling is good, especially when you're a creator, right?
Oh yeah, freelancing. I gotta at least be able to buy ramen, you know.
Right? Oh yeah, I know exactly.
But yeah, I'm moving ahead. Because I'm really, man, what really drives me is like that double page towards the end of it. I'm just chomping at the bit to get to that one. I love that one so much. Yeah. Like I can't wait to get to that.
Yeah, that's a sweet image. And just so you know, I've actually talked to Jackson a little bit. And it's a possibility. I can. So Jackson, to my knowledge, hasn't done much sequential work in the last several years, and I think I'm this close to convincing Jackson to maybe to do some more stuff. So
because I was going to say, didn't I see that you put out a call for pencilers not pretty recently?
Yeah. We're looking for but it can't be a digital. I don't want a digital penciler. I gotta. So far, every digital penciler I've seen can't pencil. It looks like finished inks. I don't know they can. I don't want to.
Yeah, it depends on the tool they're using. Yeah,
it says they can't do it. Yes, they can. But every time I see a digital penciler submit to me digital pencils, I'm like, well, this looks like it's inked. I've got inkers. I've got an inker already for the projects, and so I don't need to have finished work. I need pencils. So yeah, we got a couple projects that we're looking to find pencilers on. So
that's what Jackson will be doing.
That's not what I would Jackson. We're talking about something different. So fingers crossed that we can get him back.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his work. He's done probably. I'd have to count. I'm going to say 3 or 4 miniseries in all total for Silverline.
Nice. So, he worked all the way through all 4 issues of White Devil, right?
Yep, he did all 4 issues of White Devil. He did the Marauder. He did Silver Storm, which we are in the process of coloring that one as well. So there's something else, but yeah, he's a hoss. So yeah. So all right, so this is time for us to. My clock says that our time has sped by, and even though I know that if we asked, Pops would give it to us. We'll call it a night. We are trying to stay in our window. so that we can always use these at a later time. Thank you, Pops, CRoMCon. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Don't forget we have a show on Tuesday. That Tuesday show starts at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. for all you West Coast types. Wednesday Wham will be here on Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but they got it all figured out in their whamminess. And then Tommy and I will be back next Sunday with the Silver Sunday crew at 8 p.m. And until then, remember to make mine Silverline.
Don't
Good
kill
night, everyone.
Don't kill the stream.
I'm gonna play the goodbye thing, and then I'm gonna bail. Okay.
Yeah, but don't hit the end.
I'm not gonna end stream. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
I'm April Hunter. Make mine Silverline.
All right.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Bill? Ain't seen
Not
you
a
in a
lot.
while.
Yeah, just been busy. Been on weird schedule. I was about to fall out for the night when that link dropped. It's like, yeah, I haven't talked to anybody for a minute. I'll drop in, man, and give an update and stuff.
We gonna pop back over to the other. Oh, not that. We need the background, not the.
What you?
Come on. There we go. Yeah, we are back. It's CRoMCon. Final panel. Okay. If you want to hang out for another hour or two, whatever, I don't know how long, but if you want the link, scream for the link. I'll send you the link just like that. Rolling Tommy, Aaron, bail now. He said, run. Vic, I seen what you asked. We're at the end of CRoMCon now. Of course, if you want to come out and just hang out here at the end, you're more than welcome to. I got to send Hart the link. He wanted to come out, I think. So he probably fell asleep waiting on me to get him the link, though. There you go, Hart. Come on out, bro. Dude.
Hart Fisher?
Yeah, Hart Fisher.
I know that guy.
I know you do. I got a Brian, come back out here if you want. Hex, come back out here if you want. I know some of you guys we're kind of a little bit short on the on their time today because it was different, Bill, trying to work everybody's actual shows into the schedule. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, is that the way you were doing it today?
Yeah, it's definitely different because we have it's hard to tell somebody, yeah, do your show, but on the last weekend of the month, don't do your show. Nah, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So the last weekend of the month, we just incorporate those regular shows into the event.
Oh, so you kind of changed the format around a bit for Crom?
Well, we didn't plan that. You know,
because I know how it used to be where we had the half-hour segments per person and all that.
Yeah, well, we still have that, but just in between the regular shows. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, we pretty much had guests all day until at night where we had Stephen B's Draw Stream and then the Horror Movie Club, right? But we had guests all day like we always did. Today, though, it's like we had the Draw Stream and then the show-offs and then a couple guests and then the Silverline show.
Now imagine if you had a setup on like website where you could do it like it would be like a regular con. There'd be like, okay, you can go check this out here, click on this one, or you can go over to this panel and Hall B and all that kind of thing.
We actually have madnesscomicnetwork.com already.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what I'm saying though? So you have a layout where there'd be several things going on at once, and depending on where what people wanted to check out for that.
We also have a Roku channel in development. Max is building that for us. When we have the funding, we are going to take all these shows and make it in a view on demand, like a Netflix.
Yeah.
You don't think all the shows Their whole playlist will be there, and you'll be able to binge every one of the shows that we have on the weekly network.
Right. Yeah, I know that was a possibility coming up. I heard about that a little while back, man.
Yeah, we definitely have that plan. Of course, Max is busy. It's not like
and plus, he just got home here the other day too. So
yeah, dude, he goes to the hospital. He sends me a message. He's like, I can't do the game stream this morning. He was more worried about he couldn't do the game stream. I was more worried about he couldn't promote his book.
Yeah. Oh God, he did so good on that campaign. It went beyond expectations. He had his personal goal, and it went above and beyond. So I was really happy for him, man.
I mean, that whole time that he was in the hospital is like, oh well, we got to do something. So we talked about it on every show. We covered it. We shared it everywhere. It's like, because he couldn't.
Yeah. Well, he had Johnny going around too.
Oh, I know.
Well, always got to give props to Johnny too. Johnny, good writing partner and publishing.
I'm trying to get Johnny to do a show on the network.
Yeah.
Around his comic shop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have enough comic store owners involved in the network. We have a couple, but
that'd be cool too, because wouldn't that be such a good insight on things to do with indies on shelves and comic shops and everything?
Yeah.
Or what people are gravitating towards, all that kind of shit.
He said Insta. Jeez, am I on Insta? I don't even remember.
What's that?
Big said he sent me a message on Insta. I'm like, Insta? Oh shit! I guess I am on Insta, huh?
Instagram, man. The gram, man. Yeah, I still don't keep up with enough of all my social media sites. I stay up on Facebook the most, and
so I seen you got your fingers in a whole bunch of pies, dude. What's up?
Oh yeah, just staying busy, man. Gotta make the rent. Gotta eat. So yeah, just staying busy. Like I said, wrapped up that cover for Warren for Sig and Joe for his next run. So he has a color cover going on with that. Some card stuff. There's a little bit of got a short story that we're getting prepared for Ben Dunn and those guys over at Antarctic Press. A pinup piece for Godslayer. And let me think, what else? What am I missing? Like I said, I'm running on fumes, so my brain is not clicking. Zombie versus Lich in the Kitchen cover that's the one I got to wrap up right now. I'm cutting in a bunch of flames. That's been a tedious. But yeah, other than that, just trying to stay busy. I still got open slots, man. I've got everything organized enough that I know where I got some room at and what's got to be in when. So, and and always continually while I'm doing that, I'm always pulling up a new White Devil page and getting more work done on that, so I can, keep getting those rolling in at the same time, so we can get that issue 2 out. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Dude.
Just got my copy of Dungeons and Dames that me and Warren worked on 4 of the pieces in there and the cover on, man. So that was cool. From over at Sinopa.
What do you know about this one?
Oh, what is this one? Worthy Chaos Redemption Honor Adventure. I have no idea what that is.
Horror adventure comic.
Horror.
Yeah, horror.
Horror.
$21 from funded, yo. $21 away from being funded. Can we get some love for Carissa? Can she wake up in the morning and her book be funded? Could that be cool? Could that happen?
Let me take a look. I haven't seen this. Scroll through here a minute. Let me see what's going on with this.
This is good stuff. The story is for centuries, rivals, blah, 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 fought to win the balance. Yada, yada. Good stuff, Seraphina and Draven. It's a supernatural horror love story.
Horror.
horror love story.
Horror love story. Yep.
Like the two, like a Romeo and Juliet. They're on the opposite sides of the war, blah, 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 but they fall in love and, redemption. So it like kind of saves the dude. We got Anubis from the Egyptian.
Anubis,
whatever you want to call it.
Hey, you did it to me. I'm doing it to you.
Look at the skeletal vultures, dude. Those are badass. So, let's see.
I like that. That's cool.
Ian Nichols did that.
Yeah, let me see that. I like that.
And the interior art, look, this following comic is intended for mature audiences. Graphic adult content, language, violence, gore, horror, fun-filled stuff, right? Check out page 2.
Gorer.
She jumps right in, bro. That's page 2.
Got some blood splatters. I like to throw those blood splatters down with the crayons, man. That's nice.
There we go. I see the nerd that people forget. Okay, I see it now.
What? Huh? What?
Vic was sending me a message on Instagram, or connecting over there on Instagram. He's like, I guess there 2 Pops Van Zants.
Is there somebody impersonating you, man?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all, bro.
They're cosplaying you, Pops.
Well, I don't know about that. I ain't even yet good at cosplaying me. I try it at the cons. Every now and then I'll hear that pop. Somebody from across the room will recognize me, and that's that's so cool. That's a cool feeling. When you're at the con,
I saw something in intro or something like that. I saw a Muppet was impersonating you, man.
Oh, that's our boy Marmalade, dude.
I know, right? Good help is so hard to find.
That an RJ thing?
Yeah, isn't that cool? RJ, you got it going on over there. Good entertainment, yo. We like good entertainment. Now look, I sent a few people the link, and we ain't getting no love here. We got people watching, but nobody's jumping in. Anybody wants to come out for the final hour or whatever?
I scared them off. They're like, that Phil guy, man.
Hey, look, Phil used to be the co-host of this show.
Shit, what? Little over 2 years, probably.
Yeah, he was the co-host of this show, man.
That was, that did a long run, man.
He wasn't very good at getting up in the morning, but he was good at being here to the end of the show. We have 5 people sending Bill messages. Yo, it's time to get up, dude. CRoMCon.
Yeah, I'd just have the computer on the night before, and then I'd start hearing the bloop 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 as people are trying to call through and stuff. It's like, oh God, time to get up. Well, it was fine because that first hour was always where you had several people in already. Anyhow, gave me a minute to wake up and everything, get some coffee in my system.
I'm sorry, dude. I just ain't thinking. What the fuck? You gotta give me a little bit of. I've been doing this I've been.
Oh, I remember how it goes, man.
Yeah,
although it even used to be worse, right? You're not doing those 12-hour things no more, right?
Yeah, we started at noon.
Kind of. Well, yeah, but at least you're not got to do it all the way through. You're just kind of in the background through parts of it, right?
Yeah,
so
now that we have other people.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. No pee jugs, none of that.
and I can count on people like Paul Gomez, right? If I need somebody to just come and handle one segment, interview somebody for me while I go get something to eat or whatever. There's a huge
I
team
remember
behind
him.
what we're doing now.
I remember him, man.
Paul's awesome, dude. But yeah, I think I sent it to you this time, bro. I think I got the link to you this time. He said there is an imposter. There's a fake Pop Van Zandt on Instagram.
Yeah, well, maybe it might have been. Maybe it just somebody had kind of the same thing. They're a fan of. They're a fan of. Dang, my brain really isn't working. Pops, Van Zandt's almond. God, almond. No.
I guess what I would do is I'd go look.
I'm trying to remember Van Zandt's. Is that Almond Brothers or
no? That's Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner. There you go. Yeah. Kind of in the same vein, around the same time.
And wasn't there a Van Zandt in Springsteen's band too?
Oh, that's possible.
I think there was. But yeah, I did send you the link this time, Vic.
You get a link and you get a link and you get a link. Everybody look under your chairs. There's a link.
Now, I would say I would go look at that the imposter Instagram, and if it was made on the same day as this one, then I just fucked up and did it twice.
Oh, well, I know how you are in tech, man, so that's quite possible.
Oops, I gotta turn off Silverline. I can't have Silverline on and be me. Thank you, Silverline people, for watching. But I gotta remove you now. I have to.
Oh, is it still
so I don't get Roland in trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't get Roland in trouble.